A very astute viewer of the Florida Maquis noticed that in our last video, the shark that we had described on the right bore a very close resemblance to this modern shark known as a goblin shark. And looking at images, I have to say I agree. The one on the right is far larger than the modern day goblin shark, but when you look at the nose that protrudes over the jaw like this, here's the mouth opening here, and I have a better picture of a goblin shark here. When you see this part that protrudes over and the mouth underneath it, and you see this image here, it is a dead ringer for some type of a relative at least, if not just a larger version. Now, I've done a little bit of research on the goblin shark, and it only gets to be about 3 meters, 9 feet, 10 feet long. Still, big shark, wouldn't want to encounter it. But, the one on the right is far larger, but historically, a lot of the stuff that we're seeing in Antarctica is frozen in the ice. So who's to say that there couldn't have been a much, much larger version, patrolling their oceans? And this one just got caught frozen, and we know what happens when something gets flash frozen very quickly. It's preserved. They've pulled stuff out of the permafrost, out of these glaciers that's tens of thousands, if not many more years older. But I would like to share something with you guys today that's a little bit different, in the sense that I talk about seeing things that are evidence of activity. And when you look at other places in Antarctica where we know there's human activity for a fact, and you compare the two. Sorry, I just want to make sure I got the right image layer here. You can very clearly see, very clearly see the difference between ice, snow, wind, and cracks in the ice and tracks. And I'm going to try to zoom in here to show this. All these crisscrossing little tracks. Let me see if I can turn that down to get the contrast. The earlier 2 images I had to actually turn the light up to get the images to show up properly. But when you look here at the opening of whatever this cave is, over here there's a very suspect stream of something kind of brownish red. Now, many have said, well, that's just iron oxide. Well, we see so many different shades that it wouldn't be the same thing producing those colors. We know that blood, when it's on the ice, becomes first very dark red and then brownish, where we've seen very bright red show up. But when we look at this, this is human activity. We're going to go to Molodnaya Station here in a minute to show you this, but I wanted to show you this first so you could have an image in your mind of the things that I'm calling human activity. Now, if you follow these tracks, and there is a path, it leads someplace exactly what you would expect to find. An opening, human-sized, or just slightly larger. See, we have this, I'll zoom out here. Supposedly this is just some iceberg randomly out on the ice, but we see very clear tracks to it. Now, there is, and this is really good contrast here, that's why I chose it. This up here, this is a crack in the ice. This is a track. Do you see the difference in how it appears? The tracks don't penetrate the ice all the way through, creating that shadowing that you see on this. And they are all over the place. Now, over here, we were here before. I wanted to show this. There are 5 different things that I can show in one image. And some of these are review, and I'm going to do something by request here. somebody had asked me, could you measure how big that ghostly figure is that we had referred to? Well, we'll go ahead and do that and get that out of the way. And that, of course, is this right here. Now, it's very, very large, so I don't know what standard you would use for saying, well, if it's this big, it sure is a ghost, but if it's that big, it's not. But we'll go ahead and measure and let you guys make your own judgment call. All right, we're going to measure in feet. And I guess we'll go to about there. That's 135 feet. I don't know if I would be any more intimidated by a ghost, whether it was 135 feet tall or 35 feet tall or 4 feet tall, to be truthful. If it's a ghost, it's a ghost. And that's what we're kind of looking at here. And there has been a great deal of documentation and talk about giants, about the Nephilim, and the size descriptions range well into this region. But let me show you some stuff I missed. Now, I totally went right by this, looking at this other stuff, but do you see the serpent's head here? Here's the eye, here's the mouth, here's the head, and it looks like there is a small figure, much smaller right here, either doing some excavation of it, or maybe taking a sample of it, or doing something. And this is a much more human-sized figure here. Let's measure that real quick, just to say we did. Now, this one's a mere 22 feet tall. So, just to give you an idea, and down here, believe it or not, I found two figures. Once again, another shark. As we can see here, here's the mouth. And if you look very, very closely, this looks dead ringer for a great white. There's something going on up here. But if you look back here, tell me that's not... Gosh dang it. Let me get out of ground level. I have changed the settings so that it doesn't automatically tilt when I zoom back out, so this is just going to take a second. All right. Very tough to see. I'll give you the coordinates so you can do it for yourself. A dolphin, or what looks very much like a dolphin. Right here. Here's the eye, here's the front flipper, the jaw, the nose of the shark. And here's what you see with this one. Great white sharks they're kind of two-tone. They're dark and light. They're dark on the top, light on the bottom. It's a trick that they have adapted, their bodies have adapted, that when you look at them from below, they're white. And that kind of mixes in with the sun. Looked from below up at the surface of the ocean. When you look down into the ocean from above, they're darker. And it's camouflage, basically. And we see that here. We see the dark top and we see the white bottom, just like you see in any other great white. I'm going to try to get as close as I can with this. We're at about eye altitude, 150 feet right now. And we might as well, since we're doing it, we'll do a measure on this too. The shark part is, that's about 80 feet right there. And the dolphin part shows about 34 feet. 34 to 37 feet. So clearly, I mean, what we're looking at is stuff in the ice. Now, real quick warning. Let's see, did I get everything here? We looked at this before in another video. That figure 8 symbol over here, and then this serpent light figure here. There's stuff in the foreground here that's also very, very strange. It almost looks like, and I missed this too, and I'm going to try to zoom this in. That dolphin thing we just looked at, it looks like there's the head of one right here with the body missing. Also another, same thing with kind of a smaller shark-like creature behind it. But like I said, once again, I'll give you all of these images or locations, and you can look at these images for yourself with Google Earth Pro. Got to have that high-res layer box checked. If you go to Tools in the upper left and then Options, it'll give you all that, and it will, of course, depend a lot on your computer or the device that you're using and its memory and processor speed, that type of thing. There is a story out in the mainstream media right now, 2 of them, about Google Earth Pro being used to identify cold cases. There was especially one here from Florida where the guy had been in a pond. He had driven into a pond, and some kid found him using Google Earth Pro. And there's another one, I think, from England somewhere where there was like over 30 years this woman was missing. Now, real quick, this is going to be kind of disturbing. This is a new location. And it is basically a gray, an alien, staring right up at the camera. Now I'm going to go ahead and zoom in. Now I need to turn up the light a little bit. There we go. Do you see it? Sorry about that. Let me back out of this and get the tilt right again. Trying to get as close as you can. It's very, very difficult to stop that tilt before it happens. It's basically Google Earth Pro bringing you down to ground level. All right. All right, eye altitude about 200 feet. We'll use the zoom on the camera to get closer here. All right, so that's about as close as we can get. That's pretty clear to me. I mean, you can make whatever allegation you might about what that is. Give me 1 second. Let's see if I can actually zoom my computer screen. No, Google Earth Pro doesn't let me do that. It's very difficult to maintain the focus at this level too, but it's pretty clear. That's, whatever that is, that's something looking back up at you. And just moving over here to the right a little bit, it seems like there is another creature of some kind. Looks like dumping something over the side. But I'll try to lighten this up a little bit more so you can kind of see the body. So once again, Google Earth Pro, I'll give you the location. You can go here for yourself, zoom in, and look at this. And make your own judgment call. Now let's see, I thought there was one more location we were going to go to. Oh, we're going to go to Mulliganai Station to show you what human activity looks like. Now to do this, I've just got to turn my places on. I tried to turn off all of the different lines and everything so they weren't a distraction. Oh, and there was one other thing I wanted to show you guys. There was a penguins, pardon me, on the ice near that big access port we were talking about before. Okay, here we go. All right, so this is Mulligatawny Station. We can see here what human activity looks like. Now this is a winter picture. There's a better one. Okay, here we go. This is the one I wanted. This is 2018. You can very clearly see what it looks like. This was the area. See the brown? See the evidence of the vehicle tracks? This is what human activity or activity on the surface looks like. And you can very clearly tell the difference between over here, this is of course from driving. These are power lines or some type of piping or something like that. 1 second. Sorry about that. So I just wanted to show this here at the end, just so that you have a reference to see what human activity looks like, evidence of walking, basically, or transport on the surface looks like. And then you can compare it. And let's go down there real quick to that access port. And here it is. Now this was the area in 2010 where we found the jet. Now as you can see, as you zoom in, you see this right here? This is penguins. And there's a giant kind of line of ants that you can follow all the way back to the sea. It's just kind of neat to see. I just wanted to show this. That you can see this kind of activity even from space. This enormous, enormous colony of penguins. So anyway, we'll leave it there, 18 minutes. But thank you so much for the support, guys. Really appreciated having the day off yesterday. Like, share, subscribe, and we will see you next time. Thank you.